Oh man, we back, yo. This is episode number 2 out of the box boxing show. So look, man, we back at it, bro. Big fight tonight. Everybody's excited, man. We got Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. This is supposed to be, a fight that we've all been waiting for. I think all boxing fans have kind of been waiting for an undisputed fight for a while. And it's weird. Like, they have Devin Haney minus 180 favorite, Kambosos plus 155 underdog. That's if I'm gonna say it like this, man. Devin Haney's won all of the mind games leading up to the fight. If you know anything about boxing, there's mind games that goes into like how you deal with the media and how you interact with your opponent leading up to the fight. You have your weigh-in, you have your press conference where you're doing face-offs and you're standing toe-to-toe, face-to-face with the person, and you want to kind of see who has the mental edge in those instances. And I can count like the last 3, the Haney-Kambosos interview, and then you had the official press conference where Kambosos tried to call Haney a snitch, which was dumb. Like, he don't even know the meaning of the word and was using it. So, and then you had the weigh-in. Kambosos missed weight, bro. Kambosos missed weight. What did we just see? In boxing, bro, a true champion, you just don't miss weight. You don't miss weight because that's a testament to how locked in and focused you are, how your training camp has gone, how much of a detailed eye you're putting towards, being in shape and being on top of your game, your diet, how much you put into your diet and how you're eating. That's a big tell, man. That's a big tell, for him to come back and try to say he missed weight on purpose. Yeah, he tried to say he missed weight on purpose. That's insane, bro. Matter of fact, he said it twice. That's crazy, bro. Like, this is a delusional fighter. And, I've been saying it for a while that boxing needs a delusional villain. They need a villain that has the skill set to make him a formidable foe for the good guys. But at the same time, he needs to be slightly delusional, like Russell Westbrook delusional. He needs to, think that a snitch is when somebody tells you something about your opponent, your op. This guy, he can sell tickets. I think he can sell a fight, but I want to see him up against the prodigy Devin Haney. Haney's been, the chosen one in boxing for a long time. You can go back and see him having pictures with Ali and, Floyd, and he was around all the legends early on in life. Sugar Ray, he's in videos with Sugar Ray. He's dapping up Canelo. He's been chosen since he was a young guy. Being Bill Haney's son, Bill Haney had him in the environment early on. So he's been out here for a while, man. And even the whole Bill Haney thing, if you don't know, Devin Haney's dad, Bill Haney, is also his trainer. And he had a drug charge from 1992. That's 30 years ago. A drug charge from 1992 that was preventing him from getting access to, going to Australia. They tried to keep him here in the U.S., during the final stage of the training camp, all the media availability, all that stuff that Devin Haney had to do. He was doing it without his father in his corner, the man who's been backing him up for his entire career. And that to me was a little scary. As somebody who would predict Devin Haney winning this fight, to see his main guy, his dad, not be able to be a part of it. Now I was like, okay, the odds are really against this guy. Like, we might see an upset. According to the betting odds, we might see an upset. But at the end of the day, apparently, Bill Haney made his arrival in Australia early this morning, and him and Devin Haney obviously united, and now things are going to settle down because you've been ahead of Kambosos in the mental game. Now you got your guy back. You got your guy back. You got your main strategist in your corner. You know, he was playing it off well, like it didn't matter, like it wouldn't affect him, it wasn't a big deal. But we all know, bro, just even if he wasn't his dad, you know, just his trainer not being there, his main trainer, his main cornerman not being there alone would have been a devastating blow. But the fact that he's your dad, you know, that's just that much more impact. And you know, Australia, you know, such a different time difference. You know, being a whole day away or a day ahead, you know, that takes a toll on you. That takes a toll on you. The wildlife there, you know, it's an amazing place. But you know, if you're not well traveled as far as outside of the U.S., you know, Australia would be a wake up for you. You know, like, wow, people really live different. Like, or this place is totally different. That's a man. I tell you, Kambosos missed weight by 0.3 pounds. They gave him 2 hours. He took about an hour of that time. Came back out with his briefs still on, and so the first time he did it butt naked with a towel in front of him, and it was 0.3 over. He came back an hour later with no towel, with briefs on, and made weight. So that's a little fishy to me, because I don't really, maybe I'm tripping. I'm trying to figure, I mean, I know I've seen Sean Porter like do some shit. I've seen Sean Porter like take a shit and cut his head and come back and made weight, but I don't know what was going on with that Kambosos stuff. Dude really is saying that he missed weight on purpose, y'all.
Fun.
Yeah, you got people worried.
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
There's just so many people on the stage going crazy. So,
How did that feel?
I'm gonna move back. I know what I'm doing. I had a plan. And that's it.
It felt like a World Cup game when you made the weight. Everyone was going crazy.
This is nothing. Wait till tomorrow. 50,000 plus.
Yeah.
We're ready. Weight's never been an issue. I've been hydrated. I've been eating all week. So we had to have a little bit of fun with it today. Just play some games. Out of war, baby. Deception.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, George. George.
Dude is really saying he missed weight on purpose, y'all. That's not delusional. I don't know what is.
We're into him for the rent. George obviously there under pressure, looking at the scales. You can see there, I'm in the corner of the screen and I'm saying take the towel away from George. That certainly brought the weight down, but it flickered to 134.97 perhaps a couple of times, but the scale doesn't sit exactly on a number. It will fluctuate within a range of 100 grams or thereabouts, which is quite a deal of fluctuation given what's on the line here. It's a precise thing. You've got to weigh in at an exact moment, 24 hours before the fight, as we know. And to have a set of scales with that much fluctuation in them on a floor, which also has a bit of give in it as well, it's a less than ideal situation. I think there's been a lot of lessons learnt from all involved here today. And I dare say, if there's, should we be back here later in the year and having a rematch, we won't be in this exact same situation. I guarantee you that, Jeff.
It's a pretty simple message, Cheddar. You go and check your weight on the official scales. Yeah. They're called the official scales. That's where you make weight on. Yeah. Not on scales in your hotel.
The absolute fact about this whole thing is 23 fighters made the weight, 1 didn't. That's really the absolute fact. So George has got to, you know, get back on top, get back in his stride, take a deep breath, make the weight, and put the fight on. And
those other 23 people, I've seen them all go up on the stage during the morning and check their weight. I've seen, you know, just about every one of them check their weight on the official scales to make sure they made weight.
Okay, well, everyone tuning in right now wants to know how far away is George Kambosos Jr. from getting back on those scales and attempting to make weight, Warren?
I would love Megan to be able to say we'll have George under the 135.
I'm getting paid by the hour. Take your time, George.
Let's just drag it on. Here it comes. Here it comes.
This fight really could possibly put Devin Haney in a dangerous spot. I say that because he is a counter puncher. He's a back foot guy. You know, he's a not like to get a hit type guy. He can take a punch. I've seen him take some punches, some clean shots, but Kambosos, man, he comes forward. He has great timing. He has great footwork. His hand speed is great. He throws great combinations. I mean, he figures you out early in the fight. Kambosos is not a joke. Kambosos is nothing to be played with. And he can't go in there with that same mindset that Tio did, thinking, oh, I'm about to roll over this Australian guy. because Kambosos can fight, bro. He's legit. You know, he's legit competition. It should be a legit fight. You know, I think that both of them have a personal, I don't like this guy in them for the other guy, and that usually helps in these fights. I don't know who the judges are. I think all three of the judges are like from Connecticut or something. If I'm not mistaken, I can't find it either. But I mean, it's like, I'll take Kambosos' best win over Devin Haney's best win any day. Who Devin Haney beat? Gamboa? I'm not a Gamboa guy, so don't talk to me about no Gamboa. He beat Yorkis Gamboa. You know, Kambosos climbed his way up the ladder and then ended up knocking off Teofimo Lopez, who beat Lomachenko. So you got to give Kambosos his flowers, getting himself here. You know, he paved his own way, and he beat the guy that beat the guy. Now you're asking Kambosos to turn around and beat Devin Haney, undefeated, 27-0, 25-0. I don't know, man. I gotta go with Devin Haney on this one. But I would also put some money on a draw. Like, if I was betting on this, I would definitely put some money on a draw. I would definitely put some money on a draw. I would put money on a Kambosos knockout. I would put money on, possibly put a little bit on a Haney knockout. But really, Kambosos knockout and a draw, those are your safe bets, you know, if you're a betting person. And that just kind of shows, like, either it's going to be a draw, or I think Kambosos is going to be way too aggressive for Devin Haney. And I don't think Devin Haney is not an emotional fighter. So he's not cut like Teofimo Lopez to, you know, have himself open for that many opportunities to wail off on him. He's not that fighter. You know, he's not. T.O. was emotional. He had already preached that he was going to knock the dude out. So then he got in the ring and tried to back that up. And that's not really the way you box, man. There's a science to it. And, you know, that science had to humble Teofimo Lopez. I don't think that's the case with Devin Haney, who is a disciplined fighter in the ring. You know, even though he can get stuck in that Philly shell, he can get stuck in a stance that, you know, he has a big head. So if he keeps his head on that line too long, you know, he can get knocked up. So we'll see, bro. I really don't have any kind of lean for you in this fight. I'm leaning Devin Haney personally, but that's because, you know, I pull for Devin Haney over Kambosos any day of the week. But mind games, Haney. Weight made, Haney. Now, I will say this. Devin Haney don't look good at 135 anymore. He is not a 135. Dude needs to go to 140. His cheeks look sunk in. His eyes look sunk in his head. He looked like a skeleton, bro. With a, oh, my. You know, he was cut and ripped, but it was because he had no flesh on his bones, literally. And as a slim person, I know. Like, there's a weight I can get down to where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This ain't looking right. And he might be weight drained. We'll see. He might be weight drained because I don't know what he had to do to get down to 135. In the interview, he said he didn't have to do all the extra rigorous, crazy stuff this time. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I do not believe that for a second. Does he want to still keep fighting 135ers? I'm sure he does. But after this fight, you know, I would say it's time to, you know, step it up, man. Fight the big dogs. You know, go up to the big dog weights and get some of that work. You know, but at any rate, man, check back in with y'all after the fight. You already know we're gonna have, you know, the press conference and, you know, all that good stuff after. It's gonna be right here on this channel, man. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like it, and I definitely enjoyed episode 2. I definitely enjoyed, you know, the build up to this fight. I feel like if you're really a boxing insider, if you're really inside the network and know who these guys are, you know what's going on right now. Like, you know what's up right now. And it's a lot on the line, definitely for Kambosos, but it's a lot on the line for Devin Haney. As far as him being a prodigy, as far as him, this being his destiny from a decade ago. Like, I've been on about Devin Haney since he was literally a kid following these dudes around. And now he's here. He's 23. So let's get it, man. Everybody, be safe out there if you're going out to watch the fight. You know what I'm saying? Be safe. Hold it down. Respect. We're going to be back. Holla.
I mean, whether he wins or loses, he has a rematch clause, which obviously sets him up for life. But look, George has done everything right so far. Like I said, he's done the hard yards. He's travelled all around the world to be where he is today. And look, this is the biggest test of his career. I think this is a bigger test than Teofimo Lopez, because I think this guy's 100% ready, where Lopez thought he was just going to have a walk in the park, and George shocked him.
You've been a part of, you've witnessed so many mega fights over the years. Where does this one rank for you, Jeff, in terms of absolute blockbuster battles?
Yeah, look, what George done against Teofimo Lopez, I put right up there with what Buster Douglas done to Mike Tyson. An amazing performance by George Kambosos. But this guy, like I said, I've watched Devin Haney. He's ready for this fight. He's been ready for a long time. So George has got a bigger test today. Like, he's gone from being the hunter to the hunted. And when you're hunted, it's tougher out there.
For people watching out there who haven't yet purchased this fight on Main Event, what can they expect in terms of the atmosphere we're going to have at Marvel Stadium? Is it going to be unlike anything we've ever seen before?
Oh, definitely so. First of all, the crowd, but I think the contest, the competition between these two guys, there's genuine dislike, and also two guys who can really fight. So this is going to be a really action-packed fight, and nobody missed it. It's going to be great.
We can't wait, Jeff. And great to get your thoughts. We're going to see both these fighters on stage very shortly. Let's get over to Warren Smith now for the official weigh-in.
Thank you, Megan. What a morning we have right here at Margaret Court Arena, a famous sporting venue in this fabulous Melbourne sporting precinct. Of course, tomorrow morning we'll be at Marvel Stadium for the Undisputed Lightweight Championship of the World between George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. up against Devin the Dream Haney as well. Thank you for being live, of course. We'll see you tomorrow, of course, also at Marvel Stadium. It promises to be a fabulous morning with 20... from 12 fights being here this morning for the official weigh-in. And to make the first of the introductions, would you please welcome our own ring announcer tomorrow, Mr. Lieutenant Dan Hennessy.
Oh, thank you, Warren. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off this weigh-in with our swing bout number 2. It will be 6 to 8 3-minute rounds of professional heavyweight boxing. It is presented by Crypto Spend. Fighting out of the blue corner tomorrow, this is Christian Soy.
Nobody's harder than me. I'm a breaker of chains. I'm making it free. Just what I said.
Based out of Melbourne, Victoria, right here in Australia. 5 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws for Christian Soy. 4 knockouts in those 5 wins as well. He's a heavy puncher. Went the distance against Australia's heavyweight sensation and Justice Huni not that long ago in 2021. We'll see him in action when he takes on Hemi Ahio from Auckland, New Zealand tomorrow. This is Christian Soy.
Respect. I live this life, then on to the next. Give me respect. I live this life, then on to the next. I flex different than them boys that ain't been grinding strong. You can spot a winner cause it's money and it's fortune long. But I'ma get my bag every day. It don't matter what you want. Make sure you check yourself. Talk about what you talking wrong. Closer to home I can get certified OG, paid all my debt. With my flows, power supreme, come from below, it's in my jeans. I talk what I like, that's real nice things. Side down before approaching the king. Muscle strong, think money and power. Hop on the track like I hop in the shower. Brick at the brick like I'm building a tower. And I'ma do that into my final hour. And my brain growing like a flower. I get the bed, I don't be in it. I'm on my way, doing my flex, running it up, getting my checks.
Christian Soy weighs in at 256 pounds, 0.17. 256.17 pounds for Christian Soy.
And his opponent, who will be fighting out of the red corner tomorrow, this is Hemi Ahio.
Hemi Ahio, what a record, 18-0. A perfect 18-0 is Hemi Ahio, undefeated with 13 knockouts as well, based out of Auckland in New Zealand. Taking on Christian Soy. First of our fights to be weighed here this morning at Margaret Court Arena. £255, 0.51. 255.51 for Hemi Ahio. Gentlemen, if we could face it off, please, at the front of the stage here. Thank you, gentlemen. Looking forward to a terrific heavyweight contest tomorrow at Marvel Stadium. Christian Zoy up against the undefeated Hemi Ahio from Auckland in New Zealand. If you turn to face the camera, gentlemen, also. Thank you. That is our first fight this morning. Zoy and Hemi Ahio, the heavyweights, two solidly built men. Gentlemen, thank you for your time this morning. Looking forward to seeing you in action tomorrow at Marvel Stadium for our second bout. I'll take you back to Lieutenant Dan Hennessy.
All right, thank you, Warren. Our next bout is 8 rounds of professional super flyweight boxing action. It is presented by the TAB. Fighting out of the blue corner tomorrow is Alexander Espinoza.
What a fight this is at super flyweights. Espinoza from Managua, Nicaragua. A record of 21 wins, 3 losses and 2 draws. 8 of those wins by way of... 115.19 pounds for Alexander Espinoza, comfortably under the 117-pound limit. The first of our 2 fighters in our next one with Andrew Maloney up next. Lieutenant Dan.
Yes, fighting out of the red corner tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Australia's own Andrew Maloney.
You'd expect a big cheer for this man, as I said. A Victorian native, now based out of the North Coast, New South Wales town of Kingscliff. Andrew comes into this with a 23-win, 2-loss record, 15 wins via knockout. £116.95. 116.95 right on the button for Andrew Maloney. Gentlemen, if we could have you to the front of the stage, a quick drink for Andrew. Alexander, if you could join us at the front of the stage for a face-off, please. A terrific contest tomorrow. You'll see it live, of course, on mainevents.com.au. If you haven't booked, join us right then and there on Sunday morning via mainevent.com.au here in Australia for what promises to be a fabulous 12-fight card at Marvel Stadium. That is Alexander Espinoza versus Andrew Maloney over 8 3-minute rounds at super flyweights. Thank you, gentlemen. Back to you, Lieutenant Dan.
All right, our next bout, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds of professional championship heavyweight boxing. It is for the IBF International and WBA Oceania Heavyweight Championships. It is sponsored by, brought to you by, presented by Culture Kings. Fighting out of the blue corner tomorrow, Australia's own Lucas Brown.
Big Daddy still punching in the ring tomorrow against the highly impressive Junior Far for the 2 belts that Dan mentioned, the IBF International and also the WBA Oceania Heavyweight Championship. We fought over 10 3-minute rounds. Lucas from Perth, Western Australia, a 30-3 record, 26 wins via the knockouts. £261.02 for Lucas Big Daddy Brown. 261.02.
And his opponent, who will be fighting out of the red corner tomorrow. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. This is Junior Far.
The former world title challenger from Otahuhu in New Zealand. A 19-1 record, 10 victories by way of knockouts. Once, of course, for Joseph Parker for the heavyweight championship of the world. This is Junior Farr. £268.30 pounds. 268.30 for Junior Farr. Gentlemen, if we can have you at the front of the stage, Lucas, as well, for a face-off, please. Either side, mate. Thank you. The belts are up for grabs. There might be smiles today, but not tomorrow once they enter the ring in front of 50,000 plus at Marvel Stadium. Lucas Big Daddy Brown versus Junior Farr, the second of our heavyweight fights tomorrow at Marvel Stadium, right here, the sporting capital of Australia, Melbourne. Thank you, gentlemen. Turn for the cameras, please. Scheduled for 10 rounds. We'll see if it goes the distance. There might be some debate about that. A handshake, and thank you for being with us this morning, both Junior Farr and also Lucas Big Daddy Brown. To our fourth fight of the morning, Lieutenant Dan.
All right, scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds of professional championship bantamweight boxing action. It is for the vacant WBO international bantamweight title and the WBC silver bantamweight title. It is presented by the TAB. Fighting out of the blue corner tomorrow, this is Aston Palite.
Aston taking on the second of the Maloney brothers in Jason Maloney, the twin of Andrew. Aston from Bago City, Negros Occidental in the Philippines. A record of 28 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 23 wins via the knockouts. £117.06 for Aston Palite from the Philippines. 117.06.
And fighting out of the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, Australia's own Jason Maloney.
Great to have both the Maloney brothers in action tomorrow. Right here in Melbourne, you'll see them live on mainevent.com.au. At Marvel Stadium from Kingscliff, New South Wales, Australia. Jason Maloney, 23 wins, 2 losses, 18 wins by knockouts. 117.61 pounds for Jason Maloney. 117.61 pounds. Have you both at the front of the stage, please, Aston and Jason, for a face-off, please. The belt's on the line tomorrow at Marvel Stadium between Jason Maloney and Aston Palite. That should be a terrific contest with world title eliminator ramifications as well. The winner of that one will make a big step up the rankings in all 4 organisations. That is Jason Maloney versus Aston Palite. We have 4 fights down this morning here at our official weigh-in for tomorrow's massive card between George Kambosos Jr. and Devin Haney. And they are the 2 gentlemen we'll be weighing in next right here this morning at Margaret Court Arena. As I said, we're live tomorrow via mainevent.com.au, earlier in the morning as well from 9:30 a.m. on Fox Sports as well. Before we go to mainevent.com.au, we'll also be live around the world. Much anticipation in the United States with Devin "The Dream" Haney, based out of Las Vegas, taking on George Kambosos, who holds those WBC, WBA, IBF belts, as well as the Ring Magazine WBC franchise champion as well, is George Kambosos Jr. It's a real privilege this weekend to have one of the greats of boxing. He is the voice of ring announcing right around the world. Would you please welcome to Margaret Court Arena the around the world also, Mr. Michael Buffer.
Thank you, sir. And indeed, it really is exciting to be here for this fantastic moment. Ladies and gentlemen, in about 26 hours, it's going to happen. At Marvel Stadium here in Melbourne, it'll be undefeated world champion versus undefeated world champion for the unified and universally recognized undisputed lightweight championship of the world. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you who will be promoting this contest. Hall of Fame promoter, Mr. Lou DiBella and DiBella Entertainment, in association with Hall of Fame promoter, Mr. Bob Arum and Top Rank Incorporated. And of course, it's sanctioned by the Combat Sports Board of Victoria, along with the WBC, the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF. So now, it's time for the official weigh-in for this main event that'll come up tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? So let's get this party started. Coming to the ring, coming to the stage. First, he is from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, and brings a perfect professional record consisting of 27 fights, 27 victories, including 15 wins by knockout. He's the undefeated WBC lightweight champion of the world, Devin "The Dream" Haney. And now, next up onto the stage and then to the scales, coming to the stage with a perfect professional record consisting of 20 fights, 20 victories, 10 wins by knockout. He comes to us from Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. He is the undefeated WBA, WBO, IBF champion of the world, George "Ferocious" Kambosos Jr.
Kicking game on the snare drum, hard on that beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices, cut it open,
Undefeated champion versus undefeated champion. First onto the scales will be the WBC champion, Devin "The Dream" Haney. Shot through the heart and pray on my downfall. The Yeti prevailed on my outlaw. Stand on top of the table like John Wall. Got the cross on my chest like Olympic gold. Rap it smooth on the field like a jazz song. Witness greatness, look up in LeBron home. Remember next time before you doubt us. That only made me go John Jones. HGH, I got the shortcut. Got on my side, you got bad luck. Look at how they all doubt much. How they doubt much, yeah. Underrated, overrated, we the underdogs. Underestimated, yeah. Underrated, underrated, we the underdogs. Underestimated, we the ones.
100 134 pounds, 0.92. 134.92 for Devin the Dream Haney. Devin, if you could please.
Next onto the scales, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated WBA, WBO, and IBF lightweight champion of the world, George Ferocious Kambosos.
The lightweight limit, 135 pounds. We are working in pounds this morning. And we're just going to have a change of equipment here for George Kambosos Jr. Nothing like a bit of tension on the morning of the weigh-in here at Margaret Court Arena. So much on the line tomorrow, of course. A career-defining fight between these two men. This is George Kambosos Jr. We will require a towel with George Kambosos Jr. just fractionally above the 135 pounds limit.
Back, please, for officials and a representative from each camp.
We are 26 hours away from fight time. Things are getting interesting earlier than expected here this morning. It has been an interesting build-up over the course of this week in particular. And things are getting to a tinderbox proportion here at Margaret Court this morning. If just move everybody back slightly from the scales, and as much as what's happening here, yes, everyone, this will be ratified by the Victorian Combat Sports Authority, the tutelage here of Chairperson Simone Bailey. But we just need to clear a bit of space, if we could.
And the scale doesn't stop.
So at the moment, Chairperson of the Combat Sports Authority, Simone Bailey, has an official figure of 135.36 pounds, 0.36 above the lightweight limit. George Kambosos Jr. will have 2 hours to make the weight. And at 0.36 pounds, it might not take too long to get George down under the 135-pound limits. Right up until the morning before the fight, Michael.
We knew it was going to be exciting, and, you know, sometimes the scale in the hotel says one thing, but we have to go by the official scale here. The standard procedure is go to a hot room, a sauna, work out, spit a little bit, and dehydrate. And that 0.3 of a pound is nothing. That'll be no problem.
Yeah, you'd imagine that won't be any issue at all. It's roughly about 140 grams in kilograms. You're talking about it in metric measurements. So about 140 grams, 0.3 of a pound. Shouldn't be too much for George Kambosos to lose. Inside the 2-hour limit, of course, that he has for this fight this morning. While we are here on the stage, we will talk to Devin Haney. Things were flaring up. Devin, if I could have you a quick word, if I could, mate. Always a bit of interest. Devin, first off, you comfortably made weight. The preparation has been exactly what you expected.
Yeah, I'm a true professional. I came away, I'm far away from home, but I did what I had to do. I made the weight, and I'm a true champion.
You were very vocal very quickly there when you saw that George hadn't made weight. What did you say to him?
I said he ain't shit. He ain't make weight.
Does this build your confidence for tomorrow even more, knowing that George didn't make weight at the first occasion?
I mean, he's sucked up. He's dry. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. We still gonna go in there and fight, but I'm a true champion, and true champions make weight.
Good news for you overnight with the news coming through that your father, Bill Haney, and your trainer, of course, had been granted a last-minute visa approval by the Australian government to be here in your corner tomorrow. What did that mean to you? What was your reaction when you heard that news?
That meant everything to me. Thank you to the Victorian government for making it happen. Thank you, God, and I can't wait for my dad to make it.
Just 24 hours out now from the fight itself, or just over 24 hours. How are the nerves at this point in time?
No nerves, man. I'm ready.
You're ready?
Ready.
We will see you, of course, for a face-off when George makes weight, so please stay with us here this morning. We will do a face-off right now while the two are here.
Here they are, face-to-face, ladies and gentlemen. Undefeated champion versus undefeated champion. The result will be, who will be the undisputed lightweight champion of the world? Haney or Kambosos Jr. Tomorrow at Marvel Stadium, 50,000 fans. It's going to be a fight event to remember. Kambosos tomorrow at Marvel Stadium, Melbourne.
The Hellenic Fan Club goes up as one.
happening here at Margaret Court Arena. Plenty of drama at the official weigh-in and a very fiery exchange there between George Kambosos Jr and Devin Haney. Boy, Jeff Fennick, what did you make of all that?
Well, first thing, Megan, I've got to be honest, for me, you always come and check your weight on the official scales. He checked them on his scales apparently in the hotel, and they said that he was on weight, and the official scales are what counts. So a little disappointed that. In that area because, like I said, it's not much weight to lose. It'll be easy, but it's another half an hour he's going to be out there doing something that he shouldn't be doing.
So maybe a little overconfident in George Kambosos' mind of making weight this morning?
Yeah, I'm not sure about overconfident, but like I said, it's common, protocol that you go and you check your weight on the official scales because all scales weigh a little differently.
All right, so what has to happen now?
He'll most probably have a little sauna or have a little sweat, a skip. It's not much weight to lose, and he'll come back and make weight and he'll be ready. But like I said, it's just a little interruption. And like I said, for me, if it was my fight, he would have been on the official scale well before and would have known what his weight was.
Any doubts about him coming back and making weight, or are you pretty confident he'll be fine?
He's got to make weight or he loses the titles on the scale. But he'll make weight. Like I said, it's very, very minimal, and he'll be here tomorrow as good as gold.
All right, no drama for Devin Haney. How did he look to you physically?
Yeah, he looks great. He's made the weight. He looks great. He's cut up. And like I said, now they just weigh just under 135 pounds. Tomorrow he'll be around 150. So they'll put on a lot of weight, 15 pounds at least.
All right, well, let's talk a bit more about that final exchange between those two. It was pretty fiery, wasn't it? Quite different to the subdued interaction we saw yesterday at that final press conference. But things really spilling over here at Margaret Court Arena.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier, you and I, how it was going to be, because we've seen all the other opponents shaking hands with each other, and we thought, would that happen? But I said it wouldn't happen. I knew it wouldn't. And at the end of it there, and we've seen George's dad, trying to get into a scuffle again, which, like I said, for me, it's totally... Look, it's unneeded. I mean, I'm not sure what was said there, but they don't need to do that. I think in a way it might hype the crowd up and hype the sport up, but I think it's not great for the sport.
How do you got lip reading? Could you make out any of what was said then?
I think they're talking in Greek. I couldn't lip read the Greek.
Very good.
Yeah.
In terms of, I suppose, the mental game and that stare down at the end, does it matter who looks away first? Does it matter who wins that sort of verbal exchange?
Not at all, Megan. I mean, like I said, your fists do the talking. Your eyes, you need your eyes. You need your eyes to be alert in that ring, but now your fists are going to do talking. Tomorrow, we're going to have two guys who are really going to throw a lot of punches at each other.
What happens in these next 2 hours for George Kambosos Jr? Take us through what he's going to do between now and coming back here to try and make weight.
Now, he'll be back here within 20 minutes. It's not going to take 2 hours. It'll be 15, 20 minutes. He'll make weight, have a little sweat, and then he'll rehydrate and put all that weight back on. And like I said, we've got over 24 hours prior to the fight, so half an hour more is not going to make any difference.
How often do we see something like this happen?
Yeah, we've seen it a bit, but like I said, I try to think that we're so professional today. We've got access to the official scales prior to the weigh-in, so use them to make every advantage. Because like I said, although it's only an hour it's going to take, it can play with your head a little bit.
How do you make the genuine hatred between these two? We spoke about it off camera. I mean, there's a lot of tension between these two, isn't there?
Well, it's real. If somebody's calling you a rat and everything else, you wouldn't be too happy. You wouldn't be, going to shake his. And I wouldn't be shaking anybody's hand calling me a rat and every other word that he called him. And so, yeah, this is genuine hatred.
All right, well, you can keep across Fox Sports News and foxsports.com.au as this story continues to develop, and we'll keep you updated as we wait and see how George Kambosos Jr goes to get back here and make weight. What has to happen once he does make weight over these next 24 hours, or in the case of George Kambosos Jr, it will be less than 24 hours until this fight gets underway?
Yeah, so he'll just make weight now. In the next 20 minutes, he'll make weight, and then he'll rehydrate. And like I said, George most probably put 10 or 15 pounds as well. And good luck to him. That's what you do. You win the fight on the scales. You make that weight and you're back out there.
As we're seeing it all unfold here just a moment ago, things getting very, very heated. Even the trainers, everyone was sort of involved. No love lost whatsoever between these two.
Yeah, Ram. I don't know. I don't know if this is needed. These are two great athletes fighting for the ultimate prize of the world of boxing for every belt. So we don't need this. I want to watch a fight tomorrow, not today.
What do you make of this crowd here? I mean, so much support for George Kambosos Jr. A lot of cheers as this moment happened right here. A lot of support, and it'll show tomorrow at Marvel Stadium.
I'm blessed, Megan. I've fought here in Melbourne. It's the sports capital of the world. If they love you here, and they're showing lots of love for George, and he deserves it.
What did you make of his incredible confidence in that moment? Flexing his muscles, even though he hadn't made